The Florida Gators get Dallas Wilson back this week, and it is time to insert him into the lineup ASAP.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Happy Wednesday. I'm Brandon Olsen. Find all of my written work about the Florida Gators with swampsignal.substack.com. Today's episode of Locked On Gators is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. And like I said, the Florida Gators are getting Dallas Wilson back this week. He returned to practice during the bye week last week. Now is expected to make his season debut this week against Texas. He desperately needs to be inserted into the lineup. And I'm not saying starting here. And the reason I'm not saying starting is there are two reasons. One, I'm not sure how healthy he is where he should be given starter snaps right away, right? Like I know that a lot of us grew up playing video games and have kind of lost the thought or the process here. But like just because guys can play doesn't mean that they should play every snap. Just because guys can play doesn't mean that they can play every snap, let alone should they. It doesn't mean that they can play. So I'm not going to say starting just because, one, I don't know how healthy he is to play every snap, to handle a full workload. And two, there's no guarantee he's going to be great, right? Like there's no guarantee he's going to be great. And I say that that's my general opinion on every freshman is there's no guarantee he's going to be great. Even if he has a great freshman year, no guarantee he's going to be great overall. Some guys come in and they're maxed out, right? I don't think that's the case with Dallas. I think Dallas has a very high ceiling. I just don't know if he's there yet. But one thing that we all know is that Florida desperately needs something on offense, right? Aiden Mizell wasn't in the lineup last game. I almost said last week, the last game against Miami. Florida just hasn't had juice in the receiving game, right? Like Florida's leading receiver is Vernell III. And their second leading receiver, yardage-wise, is Hayden Hansen. I love Hayden. You're going to hear from Hayden later on. He shouldn't be your second leading receiver with 120 yards at this point in the season. Like 120 yards, great. I mean, the production for Hayden's been way higher than it's ever been, right? I mean, he's on pace to more than double his season total from last year receiving wise. Great. However, you've got J. Michael Sturdivant, who has 81 yards. You've got Trey Wilson, who has 76 yards. Hayden having 121 receiving yards is great for him. He shouldn't be the second leading receiver because the other receivers should be stepping up. Vernell III has the most targets on the team with 24. Trey Wilson has the second most targets on the team with 21. Trey also has the same number of catches as Hayden, but Trey's got 5 yards per catch. A lot of that is because he's getting the ball underneath. He's still doing the gadget thing, right? They're not letting him run routes. Part of me thinks like maybe he's just not a good route runner. That's it. Like I've said, I think movement style, he should be able to create separation, but that was before this season. Now he looks bulkier. He's moving, not as fluid as he used to. Maybe he's just not a good separator. He could be Laviska Chenaulting this. Maybe. Hayden has 20 catches. J. Michael Sturdivant, Hayden has 20 targets, 15 catches. J. Michael Sturdivant has been targeted 19 times and has 8 catches. Okay. Completion percentage of 42.1% when targeting J. Michael Sturdivant. He has no drops. It's just he's being thrown the ball, one, in contested catch situations, and two, DJ Lagway's airmailing it to the sideline over him. Like that's watch the film. When J. Michael Sturdivant gets targeted, that's what's happening. Dallas Wilson, giant body, put him on the field, more dynamic than probably anybody right now other than VB3. Get him the ball. That's it. Like, even if he plays 15 to 20 snaps, get him at least 4 or 5 targets. I know that there's going to be people go, oh, if he plays 15, 20, then get him 10 targets. That's not football. That's not realistic. Grow up, get out of your head. Simple as that. But get him targets. Give him the opportunity to make plays. That's it. Like, Florida's receiving room has been nothing short of miserable this year, which, by the way, never forget those of you that were mad when I was saying, hey, I think you should move on from Billy G. Okay? Don't forget that you were mad at that. He hasn't developed anybody in a while now. Best receivers have been out of the portal. Best receivers have been guys going to trainers and developing. That's been what it is. Just saying. Defensively, I want to see a lot more from Jeramiah McCloud this week. I think that Jeramiah McCloud against Miami, which also, by the way, the snaps are available, right? Brendan Bett's been banged up. Jamari Lyons has been banged up at the nose. Caleb Banks is out for the year expected. Like, Jeramiah McCloud should play more. He played 13 snaps against Miami, brought more juice than just about anybody defensively. I mean, it was notable. You look at Cole Kublik. Sorry if that's not how it's pronounced. But he has his Twitter thread that he puts out every week of guys that impress and his overall thoughts on teams. And for Florida, after the Miami game, he was like, yeah, 91 brought some juice. 91's Jeramiah McCloud. 91, you can go back to, I don't know why I call him 91. Jeramiah McCloud, you can go back to when he was coming out of high school. My report on him was like, he's got a crazy first step. And when he doesn't win with the first step, he wins with relentless effort. Yeah, I want that guy on the field. Like, I want him on the field, especially when I'm talking about having banged up players on the defensive front. Brian Taylor Jr. should never be playing nose tackle. And based off what he did against Miami, I'd rather have Jeramiah McCloud out there. Like, I don't think Brian Taylor Jr. played awful, but he didn't play great. He didn't play enough to say, hey, the guy that has been popping, take him off the field. Jeramiah McCloud should play more. I'm not saying he needs to start, but I'm saying he should be playing more. And I'm definitively saying that. I think he brings a lot in run defense. I think he's brought a lot so far. But also as a pass rusher, like, I think it's just a matter of time before he kind of like pops a little bit. Because all that he needs to do is just explode through the gap one time and get that kind of, it's like that he needs to break the pass rush seal, basically. That's what I'm saying. He needs to break the pass rushing seal. Like, he picks up that first pressure, that first sack, that like he just gets through one time. And it's like, oh, this feels good. Keep going. It's there for Jeramiah McCloud. It really is. You watch the film and you know. And I don't mean this in the sense of when DJ Lagway or Billy Napier go, yeah, this offense about to pop. No, I don't mean that. Because I don't believe that, frankly. But I watch Jeramiah McCloud and I go, oh, he's figuring it out a little bit. He's still very young, very raw, but he's figuring it out a little bit. Just give him the opportunity to make more plays. Just give him the opportunity to figure it out a bit more. And we're talking about someone that's really capable of making an impact as a true freshman. Again, what he's brought to the table as a run defender has been huge. That's going to be really important for the Texas game. But he's also figuring it out as a pass rusher. Again, he wins with his first step more than anything else, and he needs to develop more of a pass rush repertoire. But you got someone that's playing his ass off, snap in, snap out. I'll take that 10 times out of 10. I don't care. Every single game, every single rep, I'll take it. Just let him keep doing that. We're about to be joined by Hayden Hansen, Florida Gators starting tight end, when we get back with Locked On Gators. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else as of August 2025. And you can make everyday drives feel like anything but that. From smooth handling to intuitive controls, it's beautiful. You feel like you're riding in luxury there. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes simply irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. And most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege. Joining me now for Locked On Gators is Hayden Hansen, Florida Gators starting tight end. And Hayden, usually we get to have these conversations immediately after a game. Not so much this week, of course, you guys had a bye. What can you tell us about the bye week this time around?
Yes, I mean, I think it was just as important as this time last year. Kind of brings the team together. You kind of forget about your current circumstance and just all you care about is competing. You know how we split two teams up, just going at it. And basically, Napier's big message was you're going to have about 3 days off. He's like, you need to get away, recharge. But he's like, we need to make a deal. When we come back here, everything that's happened these first 4 games is in the past. It doesn't matter anymore. I don't want to hear another word about it. He's like, we're reinventing ourselves, and it starts on Monday, which was yesterday. And it was a pretty good practice. It was the first time with the game plan, so it's always going to be a little rusty. So Tuesday, Wednesdays where you have your physical practices and knock the rust off and get it perfect. And then Thursday, Fridays where it's all mental.
And I don't think we've really had this conversation this year around, but just generally, what's a week of practice like, or what does a practice week look like for you guys in terms of when you have practice, when you have meetings? Just like, what's that general schedule look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, a weekend practice is basically just Monday. We're spiders, like light pads in the indoor, about a 90-minute practice, majority scouts, first time seeing the scout looks. Tuesday, Wednesday's got good on good in it, full pads outside with scout mixed in. So a little bit of everything, a lot of special teams. Thursdays, we're in shells in the indoor, about a 90-minute practice, all scouts, like every play we're going to call, the whole game plan. And Friday, it's our walkthrough. We do our whole routine at the team hotel and whatnot. And Saturday, we go play.
Okay, because I know that Billy also mentioned during his Monday press conference that he's like, hey, like we kind of focus more on also in practice getting, ones versus ones, 2 versus 2s there was more of an added emphasis on that as well. You guys have Texas this weekend, which before we even talk about the obvious off-field part of this game, how much is last year kind of ringing in your guys' ear? Which I know we spoke about that with the Miami game, but also the Texas game was just different context, right? We know that the score was brutal, and I'm not going to go into the whole, if Florida's healthy, then this happens. But you guys had a ton of injuries in that game where it was DJ Lagway was out for it. But even more important than I think just DJ Lagway was a ton of defenders were out in that game, a ton of DBs. That was Triquez Bridges' first time playing outside corner, starting at outside corner. And so I think if you guys were healthy, you wouldn't have gotten that out of hand, especially considering what happened to the defense. So how much does last year kind of ring this year, where obviously the context is very different in this year? You guys have your own injuries on defense as well here, but how much do you guys kind of just, I guess, say I screw last year, or is it like a vengeance thing?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely, you don't want that taste in your mouth regardless of who you have out there. We flat out, we just got embarrassed at their home stadium, and we know that this is the first time they're coming to the Swamp. And we have the perfect chance to repay that honor in just 1 year, flip the script, obviously no one likes to lose like that. So we're going to do everything we can to flip that script. They're a very talented team. I feel like every team we play from here on out is going to be very talented. We're also very talented. Once we put it all together, I don't think there's a team out there that can stay with us. But that's just the urgency we have in practice this week. Is I want everyone's butt too, just about all the details that need to be met, the standard that needs to be met, and I feel like I need to like me as a leader and other guys need to make sure that we have that confidence as an offense going into this game.
And how do you build that confidence during the practice week? Is it just, hey, we're going to hammer all the details? Is it stacking good days against what's been just a dominant defense so far? How do you build that confidence before you're actually on the field on Saturday?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, it's playing the most like minimal mistake football. You know, it's very rare. Like, I mean, maybe Monday, Tuesday, but from Wednesday on, there's minimal mistakes you see from people, and people know what to do. They have confidence in their assignment. They're playing fast. They're not playing scared. They're not thinking, I feel like that when we get to that point, which I think is right around the corner, of playing just mistake free. I mean, it's impossible to play mistake free, but you don't want to have a mistake every other play. It's like if like one shows up every drive, you could deal with that, and that builds confidence because it's like, okay, we don't have mistakes now. We know what to do, so let's just go out there and play.
And how does going up against this defense, which again has been, I mean, just I almost use words that I can't use on the air to describe it, but I mean, they've just been wrecking people right now. How does going up against that defense kind of help the offense kind of get into it where it's like, yeah, look, you're going to face Texas, which everybody's talking about Texas defense right now, and now they've been so good against Sam Houston State, where you guys, which I could take the jab at them, that's fine. You don't got to worry about that one. But you guys have been with the defense that's been dominant against Power 4 competition pretty consistently. How does that kind of iron sharpens iron, I'm assuming, help you guys in practice?
Yeah, I mean, we're never going to think twice about a defense in this league, especially when we go against our defense every day. They prepare us very well, and at the end of the day, it's up to us to go execute. Obviously, Texas does a very talented defense, and we're ready for that. We respect that. We know they got some guys on the D line and in the secondary. But I mean, like always, we have a plan for it. Now we just have to go execute it, and I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, and Colin Simmons is a guy on the edge for Texas that I don't like, not even him specifically, just a guy that you're probably going to be matched up with at some point. I feel like this year, and I could easily be wrong about this, but I feel like this year I've noticed you in pass pro more one-on-ones with edges. I feel like last year it was more helping combo blocks with tackles. This year, I feel like you've been left in multiple situations where it's you and an edge guy one-on-one. How does that kind of, I guess, play into not just the game plan, but just your personal development of playing more specifically pass pro one-on-one with an edge?
Yeah, I always hate the approach of whatever they call my number, I'm ready to do. And if that's solo pass pro, it's solo pass pro. I know I'm going to be in for a war. That's the beauty of this conference, though. If I can do that against these guys, you can do it on Sunday, because just like Colin Simmons is probably going to be a very high pick eventually, and if I can go out there and have success against a guy of that caliber, then again, that feeds not just my confidence, but that feeds everyone else's around me confidence, that we can have a successful play and move the ball against that Texas defense, which I know we're going to do, and we got about 3 more days to solidify this plan up and go do it.
Yeah, I feel like it was Missouri 2023 was the first time you really had to handle the one-on-one edge with I think it was Darius Robinson, and it's just like, yeah, that's a Sunday player. Found that one out. Yeah. That was one hell of a welcome to solo pass pro against an NFL player there. Good times. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It's beautiful. You turn some money into more money. It's great. And then you get to use that money to get more money if you need to. It's amazing. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. And I don't know if you've had those, those neighborhood spots where you're just like, oh, like this is heaven for me. Like I will continue to say it. I've always said it, and I will continue to say it. For me, it's a bodega that was a block away from my house. So really across the street is what we say. Across the street from my house when I was growing up. Went there as a kid, went there growing up. I was, late teens, and I'm like, oh my God, you grew up. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens when time goes by. And then now, even then now, I swing by every now and then, not so much lately, but I'd swing by and they're like, oh my God, I remember when you were this big. And it's like, yeah, that's crazy, right? That's how time grows up. It's like they grew up watching me grow up. It's beautiful. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. So you can go to square.com/go/LockedOnCollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. I mentioned earlier, the obvious off-field part of this game for you. What does it mean for, obviously, you can't speak for everyone, but Billy Napier has done a good job of getting Florida players or getting Texas players to Florida. You were, I think, the only one your first year, but you were part of that first batch of a Texas player coming to Florida. Obviously, DJ Lagway, Damian George, again, transferred from Alabama, but is initially from Texas. J. Michael Sturdivant's from Texas, DeBron Hampton, Chad Gasper, and I'm sure there's a few more. But what does it mean for you guys that are born and raised in Texas, and now Texas is coming to the Swamp for the first time, and you get to be a part of that experience?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a hell of a 2-week stretch for me. We got A&M next week at their place also, so I'm excited. And you always want to represent when a big university from your state comes to town, I mean, I can't speak for those guys, but I mean, they never offered me in high school, so I always have a little chip on my shoulder playing those guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, like I said, I mean, they've got really good players. We got really good players, and that's what you come to the SEC for. You come to the SEC to play in these big games in prime time and play against good people. So,
do you have family coming out for it? I mean, I'm assuming your parents are coming out for it, because I know you've also got the Texas A&M game next week, so it might just be easier for some people to say, "Hey, I'm going to go to College Station instead."
Yeah, I have my parents are coming for this game. Then I'm going to have a lot of people come for the A&M game. So,
for the listeners, Hayden's parents, the Goats, just so you know that one. You guys had the bye week this past weekend. You went to, I'm assuming it was at Clemson, but you went to Clemson for your sister's volleyball match, right?
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you to get to go actually see her play? Because I know that a lot of overlap schedule wise.
Yeah, it was my first time seeing her play in 4 years, so I was excited. They were playing at FSU, and I sent her a text. I was like, Hansons don't lose to FSU. Like, you got to figure this out. And they were undefeated. They were 12-0, and then they dropped it in 4 sets. So I was like, it's all right. We'll beat them this year. They're not going to beat the Hansons twice. They do play them again, though, because in volleyball, they play a crazy schedule. They play, conference play like crazy, back-to-back. So, yeah, it was fun to see her play, though. She's a beast, dude. She's on the all-conference tournament team, all-American. She's legit.
Yeah, and I will never forget the first time meeting your family, and I was like, oh, you're all just absolute giants. I remember walking up, and towards the end of it, I was like, all right, I feel like a B. I need to head out of here. It's like, I just can't do it. I'm not super sure, but they're all just towering there. So basically the weekend of a bye week, because you mentioned earlier, Billy Napier said that you guys have 3 days off. So weekend of a bye week, you guys can do basically anything you want within reason, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we had a check-in on Sunday to make sure we're all back. We had a certain time we had to be here by. So, I mean, as long as you can get back by that time, I guess. But, I mean, I don't think guys are going to leave the country or anything, because that's too risky and stuff. So, I think it's just everyone got to go see their family. Some guys just stayed here and kicked back. It was just because you get 2 this year. So, maybe the guys that stayed will go see their family or people in other states. But, so –
I just had to ask because I know last year a bunch of Gators went to the Colorado at UCF game, because it was also the week before you guys played UCF. I don't know if you saw, but this past weekend, Aiden Mizell was at the Georgia game, and timeline went crazy for it for no reason, really. It's he had, which I wanted to ask that because I want that to be a great reminder that when you're losing, the fan base will get upset about things that don't actually matter. Whereas last year you guys were 2-2, a bunch of people went to another game, no one cared. Now all of a sudden 1-3 and people care about that. So just want to get that clear that it's fine to go. It's not a big deal. And before we wrap this up, I think we've talked about this in the past, but new year, maybe things change. What's the pregame playlist or the pump up playlist look like for you right now?
Yeah, so I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think I've built the best rock and roll playlist in America. I stand by that. If anybody wants receipts, I can send that out on Spotify. But yeah, man, I mean, it gets me juiced. I've been told by a lot of people that it's pretty legit. So
Okay, you could send it to me now, and I'll say that you could send it to me there. But thank you so much, Hayden. This is Hayden Hansen, Florida Gators starting tight end. Catch him every week on Locked On Gators and every Saturday playing for your Florida Gators. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free, whether it's in the podcast and on YouTube. We will be back tomorrow with Brad Kellner from Locked On Longhorns to preview Florida, Texas. It's crossover Thursday here on Locked On Gators tomorrow, and I'll see you all next time.